Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I am actually going to be using, I have a plan today. So today I'm actually going to be using the Morphe 35F palette. It's called Fall into Frost. This palette was actually given to me as a Christmas present, and I wanted to use this palette just to kind of show you guys a little bit more of what this palette can do, some of the looks that you can pull off with this palette. I actually used this palette in this video right here, and I used a little bit of it to kind of pull off a look, but today I wanted to use a majority of this palette for this look that I have here on my eyes. And I'm not super like a frost girl, but I do know that as we progress into 2019, there are going to be more looks with a lot more frost and a lot more glitter, and that's some of the things that's kind of going to be the trend of 2019. I'm gonna be honest, I actually fell very deeply in love with this palette, and I just love the color range that this palette has to offer. And I'm actually still using currently the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Foundation, which is actually right here. And a lot of the products that I'm using are drugstore products. The Morphe is sold in your local Ulta if you have an Ulta near you. But the rest of the products that I'm using on my face are all drugstore products, things that you can find in your local drugstore. And as you guys know, I'm going to tell you to make sure that you visit shopvault28.com. There's a 50% off sale going on there now. And also, if you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting on? Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. And also, so you don't miss a video upload, hit that notification bell button so that you can get the notifications when I upload a new video. I've started vlogging, and that's a little bit new for me, but the last two video uploads were vlogs, and I hope you guys check those out. There are 2 more vlogs coming. I have a lot more time on my hands because I'm on my Christmas break from school, being that I'm a school teacher, but I definitely want to share more of this 35F palette with you just so you can see some of the looks that you can pull off. I mean, this palette is pushing out a lot of color, and I'm very excited about the way this look came out today. And I'm so glad that I got to shoot this video with you. Actually, I published my last video last night for 2018. That will be my last video in 2018. You will see the new videos coming out. My video publishing days are Fridays and Sundays. It gives me a little bit more time to kind of create my content throughout the week. But with no further ado, let's get started on this makeup look. So keep on watching. Okay, here I'm using the Princess Tart palette, and I'm going in with that shade Angle there in the second to last shade there, and I'm going to hit my crease with that. And guys, I'm going to speed up the video a little bit because you've seen me use this palette quite a bit, and this was also one of my Christmas presents that I received last year. I think by the time my students, get to know me, that they know I'm a makeup lover, and based off this YouTube channel, I tend to get a few hit or miss makeup items in for Christmas, and I actually received a Sephora gift card, and I went on ahead and ordered that palette, and I'm just in love with it. So there, I'm in my crease, and guys, I'm using my Sigma E40. If you notice, again, that brush is so beat up, but it still does the job. So I continue to use that brush because, I mean, there's no reason for me to just throw it away, even though I do need to order another one. So I'm going to be using this Morphe 35F palette that I'm super excited about. And the color that I'm going in with is called Hazel, and it is a really beautiful color. I'm sorry, not Hazel, it's called Sand. I was looking at the palette a little bit backwards. The color I'm going in with is called Sand, and it kind of just blends in. It adds a little bit more of a darker color to that crease, and I'm just kind of layering in the darker the colors as we go down the crease towards the lid. And that's what I want to happen. I want the colors to kind of fade out a little bit lighter into the crease. You guys know I tell you all the time that in order to get the shadow where you want it to be in the crease or on your lid, you have to constantly blend and blend. I find that, even, doing makeup for so long now, that it's still an art to this blending. And in those windshield wiper motions, just continue to blend. I find that I have a really kind of big space to put eyeshadow. So I've heard of different small eyes, almond eyes, hooded eyes. They're just all different types of shapes eyes. But I still think eyeshadow can still be a beautiful thing on no matter what kind of eyes you have. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm looking at the colors as I'm pointing them out. I'm gonna go in with the color called Visible. Beautiful color. I wanted to add a little bit more of a little bit of a sparkle because this 35F palette has a lot of frost in it and it has a lot of glitter kind of going into this palette. So I wanted to kind of use some shade that were gonna stand out. Here I'm taking my Morphe. I am so tongue twisted today, maybe because I'm doing this voiceover tonight and it's a little bit late. I'm taking my Makeup Revolution and this is in the shade C10 and I'm adding a little bit down on my lids because I don't want that shadow to kind of fly away. I want it to last throughout the day. So I'm taking that and I'm just using a little small blender brush. And guys, I'm actually using the brush that's out of one of my Naked 3 or Naked 2 palettes. I'm just kind of blending that out a little bit. And I'm gonna lay that shadow down on there, and that's a pretty kind of a light shadow, but this is kind of one of those everyday looks that I would wear. I would even take this look on to school or just out and about shopping, but it's definitely one of the more simpler looks that I wanted to kind of show you that you can do with this palette. I'm gonna go ahead and spray down my my brush with the Mario Badescu, which you guys know is one of my favorite sprays, and I'm gonna kind of put that to kind of add a little life to that shadow. And I'm actually kind of glad I did give it a spray because some shadows still need a little bit of help to get onto the lid, but I still love how beautiful these shadows are, and they didn't need a lot of help because, like I said, they went onto the lid beautifully. And even you can also use a patter brush. A patter brush is kind of like one of those little eyeshadow brushes that come inside of the palettes and your smaller ones. A lot of people don't tend to use them that often, or they just kind of throw them to the side. That would be a very good time to use that little brush, is to do your very lower lids. But I definitely think that this color that I'm using is really nice, and the color payoff is really nice. So next I'm gonna go in with the color Sand, which is also another beautiful color inside of this palette. And I'm gonna continue to kind of deepen that crease a little bit, but what I'm also doing is that I'm taking away that harsh line to kind of blend out the two, between the two colors I have on my lid, and just to make it a little bit softer and add a little bit more depth to that crease. Remember, the name of this game is that blending. You have to constantly blend. And I want to use this palette a lot more throughout just looks, and I will reference back to it every time I use it. And now we're gonna go in this middle color here. It's called Starlight, which is gonna be kind of right there in the inner third of my eye. And it's just kind of highlighting that area. And I'm actually gonna bring Starlight down into my inner corner highlight a little bit. But I'll continue to add more color and layer on that Starlight. You see how it's beginning to kind of show up right there in that inner corner. and I love it because it just gives it a nice subtle pop. And that was kind of, I use that color to kind of bring a little bit more attention to my eye and kind of blow it up a little bit. So here I'm going in with the Makeup Revolution with their black liner. It's called Flick. And this pen is under $10, which I think it is so amazing because look how smooth that is going on to my lid. I have been using this now for probably about 6 or 7 months. And I have not switched to anything else. I was using the e.l.f. one, which was really good as well because I like the brush tip on that. But this pen and just, you know, the thickness of it and holding it is just so convenient and so easy. It's a really black liner and it doesn't move whether you have oily lids or you're sweating or crying. It just does not move. It's so funny because even at this point in the makeup, as you're applying it, it never really has a lot of depth to me until you add lashes and you finish kind of finishing out the very top half of your face. That's when the look kind of comes all together for me. It really kind of still seems a little bit boring up to this point just because you're still layering a lot of things into the look. So what I'm doing there is I'm setting the lashes up and I'm putting a little bit of glue. And I'm actually using the Kiss Lash adhesive. And I'm actually using some Kiss lashes that are more natural. And I need to look at the number, but I'm not sure. But I'll list them down in the comment section below which Kiss lashes we were actually using in this video. So here I'm going in with the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. And guys, I have to say, I was using a lot of Physicians Formula foundation up to this point. And then I got the L'Oreal Infallible foundation in a PR package. And I must be honest, this foundation is so good. And it's good for several reasons. One, it's a very light wearing foundation. It says that it comes in medium to full coverage. Well, you have to build the coverage up if you're trying to conceal anything or there's any texture on your skin. One thing I've noticed is that I did have to build it up a little bit, but not very much. I don't have to use as much foundation as I used to because I was concealing, you know, different scars or hyperpigmentation or acne or something in my skin. So now I don't have to use as much because those things aren't there anymore. And I just absolutely love the foundation. And the beauty about that foundation is that it smells really fresh. So it's a lightweight, fresh wearing foundation. And I'm just kind of mattifying my face with the NYX Banana set powder there in the compact. I actually like it a lot because it does set down everything that you just kind of put on your face. I also noticed that the L'Oreal Infallible foundation doesn't make me as oily as some other foundations. And I'm actually going to be publishing a post tomorrow where I'm featuring 5 foundations for women of color and 5, not only that, but 5 drugstore foundations that are pretty amazing for the price point and the quality. So there I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me. I'm using it like a little contour stick. And I'm kind of just contouring my face. And or I'm just kind of adding a little bit of color into my cheeks right there. I wish I could tell you the name of that brush, but I do know it's by the brand called True Beauty. They just don't have a number on it. That brush actually came out of my TJ Maxx and Marshall's haul video. You could go back and look at that video, and I may say more specific things, but I definitely don't think that brush has a number on it, which is shameful, because I love that brush because it's big and it's fluffy, and it really covers a lot of area, and it does the job really well. So I'm going in with my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm just going to, I made that face because that butter bronzer, number one, is super creamy. Number two, I love the color on me. And number three, it smells so good. It smells just like you're going to the tropics, like coconut, beaches, sand, water. I mean, seriously. So here I'm going back with my Makeup Revolution in the color C10, and this is the concealer. I actually have been using this for about a little bit over a month or two, and I put down my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow, which I love that too, so that's in my rotation. This one though is a lot more creamy, and it's just really nice, and it gives that really good airbrush quality once I'm done getting it all ready and getting it ready for some baking powder. I'm going in and I'm marrying my lashes with this with some mascara, just because I want to make sure that the lashes are doing what they're supposed to do, and that you don't really see my real lashes underneath. And this is a NYX liner in the color dark brown, and so I'm just gonna line my lids with that. I don't always line my lids with a black liner. You can use a really pretty dark brown, which will pull this look off just as much. And I also use colored liners on my eye, just depending on what I'm doing. And I'm doing my concealer here, and if you notice that how it just leaves such a nice finish on the skin. I mean, it is really nice, and that Makeup Revolution is very affordable. So I'm going in with my favorite baking powder right now, and I've tried a few baking powders, but this one has kind of stole my heart a little bit, and this is the Rimmel Stay Matte. It's in a purple container, and it's actually right at $5, $4.99. You can buy this at Ulta, Walmart, CVS, Target, any type of drugstore, Rite Aid. I just love it because it doesn't leave any flashback. I've taken several photos with this baking powder. I know that it looks very white. I promise it goes off really nicely, and it leaves no flash in your photos, and I suggest you guys should give it a try. So here I'm wiping away my baking powder, and I just love the finish that it leaves on my skin. Still using my same brush that doesn't have a number. I'll try to link another brush that I feel as though that is very similar and still has that same quality. So what I'm noticing is that before I put on that mascara, I forgot that I want to go back in and dust on the bottom of those lashes my crease color, the darker of the crease color. I'm going back in with Hazel, which is one of the darker colors that I use in my crease, and I just would like to put a little bit of that on the bottom of my lower lid, and I'm going to kind of buff that out a little bit. I just love, I mean, this palette is amazing. I just love it. Morphe did this with this palette. So now that I've put a little bit of that color, I can go back in and add a little bit of mascara to my lower lashes. I love this mascara, but the only drawback I have about it is that at different times I feel like it's very hard to remove. The formula is just that controlled, and it's very hard to remove, and sometimes it can pull on your lashes. Here I'm going in with the Wet n Wild, and it's called Pearlescent Pink, and it's really pretty. It doesn't take much for me to get a wash of color on my cheeks, but I definitely think this is a really pretty blush, and it's very affordable. I want to say it's $3 or under $3. So now I'm going in with the NYX Butter Gloss in the color Tiramisu. And I just love this because it just gives me that little wash of color on my lips. And I'm going to be introducing some new colors, that some nudes that I think will definitely kind of be a beautiful thing, especially for women of color. But this is a very neutral color for me. I'm going into my Pro Matte palette here. This is actually one I found in my TJ Maxx haul. I want to say that this is discontinued, but I will link two of my other favorites down below, so that, because they are very comparable and comparable to this palette. So I'm spraying on my Mario Badescu, and this is finishing this look. I'm always excited to be here with you guys, and I will definitely check you out in my next video. I'll talk to you again soon.